The memories that haunt you are living things. They are active programs running in the background of your mind, consuming your energy and dictating your choices. You've been told to accept them, to process them, to talk about them, but you will learn a way to rewrite them, to go back to the source code of the event and change the outcome, neutralizing its emotional charge forever. And the mechanism for doing this is a capacity you already possess, though you've likely never used it for this purpose. Your memory is a storyteller, a deeply unreliable one. Every time you recall an event, you are rebuilding it from fragments. You pull pieces from different parts of your brain and weave them into a coherent narrative. It feels like you're watching a film that's already been made. In reality, you are the editor resplicing the film every single time you watch it. This is a scientific fact called memory reconsolidation. When a memory is recalled, it becomes unstable for a few hours, malleable, like clay. During this window, new information can be integrated into the memory before it gets stored again. It gets saved as a new file. Most of the time, this happens unconsciously. We recall a painful event, feel the old fear and shame, and that emotional cocktail gets saved right back into the memory file. We add another layer of paint to the prison wall. We reinforce the pain. We are strengthening the very neural pathways we wish would fade away. But what if you could consciously and deliberately introduce new information during that window of vulnerability? What if you could change the ending of the film? To do that, you have to understand why your body clings so tightly to its worst moments. Your nervous system's primary job is to keep you alive. It records threatening events with extreme prejudice and high fidelity. These aren't just mental images, they are full-body records. The tightening in your chest, the acid in your stomach, the heat in your face, that is the memory. It's a somatic, energetic signature, a warning signal. And your conscious mind has very little authority to turn it off. Trying to think your way out of a trauma response is like trying to edit a protected system file without the administrator password. Your body has locked that file for a reason. Its password is the very feeling of the trauma itself. To open the file, you first need to get past the guard. The guard is your analytical mind, the one that says, "This is silly," or "That's not what really happened." This conscious, critical faculty keeps you anchored in your current reality, and it keeps the old programs locked in place. The only way to bypass it is to enter a state of deep physical relaxation, a state where the body feels so safe that it lowers its defenses. This is often called the state akin to sleep. It's that drowsy, hypnotic feeling right before you drift off, that moment when your thoughts become fluid and your body feels heavy. You can get there through breath work, slow deep inhales, longer, slower exhales. You can get there through progressive muscle relaxation, tensing and then releasing every part of your body. The method matters less than the destination, a state where your body is profoundly at rest. In this state, the critical mind goes quiet, the guard falls asleep, and the protected files become accessible. The memory can be recalled without triggering the full-blown alarm system. But once the file is open on the screen, what exactly do you write? This practice is about redirection, a conscious choice to script a different outcome. You are not trying to pretend a painful event never happened. Denial creates its own form of psychic pressure. Instead, you become a film director. You pull up the scene of the memory in your mind's eye as a detached observer. You see it play out, just as it did, but you pause it right before the moment of impact, the moment the cruel words were said, the moment the loss was felt, and then you rewrite the rest of the scene. You direct a new ending, an ending that gives you what you needed in that moment. Imagine a memory of being humiliated by a teacher in front of the class. In the original scene, you froze. You felt shame. You shrank. In the revised scene, perhaps you find your voice. You stand up and say something clear and powerful. Or maybe another adult in the room, a kind one you invent, steps in and defends you. Or maybe you simply see the teacher's own pain and realize their words have nothing to do with you. You watch this new scene play out. You feel the feelings of this new scene. You feel the relief in your chest. You feel the confidence in your posture. You feel the peace of being safe. You must make this new version as real and as sensory-rich as the original. Loop this new scene over and over until it feels more natural than the old one. Until the feeling of empowerment is the dominant emotional note. Then you let it go. You've given your nervous system a new memory, a corrective experience. But healing a deep wound requires more than changing a single scene. You have to change the entire story. A major trauma doesn't just create a bad memory, it creates a character, an identity. After a deep betrayal, you become the person who gets betrayed. After a failure, you become the person who isn't good enough. This identity is a constellation of beliefs that filter all of your future experiences. It's a lens that colors your entire world. Revising a single scene helps, but to truly heal, you must revise the character who experienced it. This is the work of repetition. You don't just revise the one big event, you revise the smaller moments that supported that painful identity. The time you stayed silent when you wanted to speak, the time you accepted less than you deserved, the time you chose fear over possibility. With each revision, you are casting a vote for a new identity, the identity of someone who is safe, someone who is worthy, someone who is powerful. At first, this feels artificial, but with persistence, the collection of new memories begins to form its own gravity. It builds a new foundation. The old character, the one built on pain, starts to lose its power because its foundational memories have been neutralized. The world starts to look different because you are looking through a new lens. A skeptic might call this self-deception. They might ask, aren't you just lying to yourself about the past? That question misunderstands the brain. Your brain learns from experience, and it struggles to tell the difference between a real event and an event that is imagined with sufficient sensory detail and emotional intensity. You are giving your nervous system the experience of safety it was denied. You are retroactively providing the resources you didn't have at the time. This is a therapeutic intervention, not a historical rewrite. You are healing the wound in the only place it still exists, your present moment experience of a memory. Once you commit to this process, there is one final mistake that can sabotage everything. It's a subtle trap hidden in the desire for proof. After you've done a revision, after you've created a new scene and felt the new feelings, the process is over. The single biggest mistake is to then check on the old wound, to mentally poke at the old memory to see if it still hurts. This act of checking is a summons. It calls the old ghost right back into the room. It's an expression of doubt. It's a signal to your brain that the old file is still the master file. You are telling your body, I don't really believe I'm safe yet. Prove it. And your body, in its loyalty, will oblige by recreating the old feeling of fear. The true final step of any revision is to drop it completely. You do the work, and then you turn your attention fully to your present life. You must cultivate the assumption that the work is done, the change has been made, it is finished. This state of trusting acceptance is the command that saves the new programming and sets it as the default. The past is a story you tell yourself. For years, you may have been telling a story of lack, of fear, of pain. You believed you were just a reader of this story, a victim of its plot, but you are the author. You can pick up the pen at any time. You can go back to any chapter and write a new ending. The pages are waiting. And this is why trying to simply think positive about the future so often backfires, which is a different kind of prison altogether.